Okay. Shall we explore Viveka? Viveka, a Sanskrit word. If we transliterate it from Sanskrit into English, we could say that it means refined discernment. It's a practice that we were invited into at the ashram. The wisdom of this practice and its inherent invitation is to notice in every moment when we're making a choice, when we're making a decision, that whatever choice we make will then have corresponding ripples. In the practice of Viveka, there are two aspects called Shreyas, Shreyas, and Preyas, Preyas. Now, as we enter into this practice, I will also say that we will not overlay on top of this practice of refined discernment, Viveka, with any constructs of good and bad, right and wrong. That isn't a part of this invitation. In this practice, it's just simply choice. There isn't right choice and wrong choice, or good choice or bad choice. There's just simply choice. And whatever choice we make, there will then be what comes with that. If we choose Shreyas, those are the choices that are from our true essence. Choices that are truly beneficial for us and others. Choices that consider the impact. Choices that are compassionate, kind, loving. If we make preyas choices, those choices are temporarily pleasurable, temporarily stimulating. Choices to get attention, to get approval, to manipulate, to control, to have power. Choices that come from the aspect of our human expression that I call the wanter. Now remember, as we're easing into this preyas category, try not to make preyas wrong or bad. It's just simply another way of choosing when we have our human experience. We can choose preyas. It's not wrong or bad. And it will have the ripples that come with that. If we betray somebody to get ahead or things like that, it will come with those ripples, those preyas ripples. If we harm somebody, if we manipulate, speak behind someone's back in a non-beneficial way, if we do activities that are selfish, this is preyas. When we choose preyas, there will then be all of the ripples that come with that. Now, as we enter into the practice of Viveka, refined discernment, we're invited to, if at all possible, try to be aware when we're making a choice and consider, is it preyas or is it shreyas? It's that simple. It's not easy, but this is the simple invitation of the practice of Viveka. Let's look at an example. Let's say we notice that we're hungry, and one of our friends decides to give us something to eat when we mention to them that we're hungry. They invite us to sit at their table. They go into their kitchen, and a little bit later they walk toward us at the table with 2 plates, one in each hand, and they place these plates in front of us. On one plate is a big, giant piece of chocolate cake. Triple layer mocha fudge chocolatey chocolate cake with a lot of sugar in it. And big, thick icing on it. On the other plate is some organically grown, well-prepared, nicely steamed broccoli. Well, we now have a choice. We can eat the chocolate cake. We can eat the broccoli. One or the other. We're not going to get to do both. We're going to pick one or the other for our example here of Viveka. So, in the practice of Viveka, we would be invited to consider which one is Shreyas and which one is Preyas. Now notice, when we're invited to consider which one is Shreyas and which one is Preyas, there isn't any construct in this practice that we should choose one or the other. There are no shoulds. It's just simply that there's choice. One will be Preyas and one will be Shreyas. Now we can imagine the big giant piece of chocolate cake doesn't have a lot of nutritional value. It will taste really sweet and chocolatey and, yummy from that perspective. The broccoli has inherently all kinds of wonderful nutritional value for our body. So in this playful example, choosing the broccoli would be Shreyas because it's beneficial to our body. Choosing the chocolate cake would be Preyas because it's, far less beneficial to our body, if at all. It may actually cause us to have, a sugar crash a little bit later, or maybe we're allergic to dairy and there's dairy in this chocolate cake and we have a stomach ache. It causes digestive issues. But in the practice of Viveka, one isn't right and one isn't wrong. There's simply Preyas and Shreyas. The ones that will create Preyas ripples for us would be the chocolate cake, and the broccoli would be Shreyas. It will be less likely to cause a disturbance for us, unless we happen to be allergic to broccoli. But in our example, we'll say we're not allergic to broccoli. So, there's just simply choice. That which is truly beneficial and that which is just temporarily pleasurable. Moment to moment, we are invited to have refined discernment regarding this, and just to see cause and effect relationships. Nowhere in this practice is there any orientation that one is better than the other. There's just simply a practice of noticing that there are different types of choices that have different types of outcomes. Now, what could be said, as somebody that has been in the practice of Viveka for decades, you do tend to start noticing the Preyas choices and become less interested in those. It just is less likely to choose that because you're aware of all the complications and the effects of a Preyas choice. And you just tend to be more likely to choose Shreyas. But in any moment, we always have choice. There might be a day where I just want that chocolate cake. I want to eat that chocolate cake rather than the broccoli. So in this beautiful practice, we take away all of the overlays of good and bad and wrong and right and all of that, and we just simply are invited to notice moment to moment. We make choices, and there will be the corresponding ripples. If we choose prayas, there will be prayas ripples. If we choose Shreyas, there will be the ripples of that are beneficial. This is the wonderful, playful way of Viveka. Refined, very nuanced discernment.